Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Kirby 64 The Crystal Shards. In the last episode we got through the first two areas here of Aquastar. In this episode we're going to be going here to what appears to be the depths of the ocean. Ah yes, we're here on the beach. We can get rid of our Suicide Snowman power-up, which we gained in the last episode, which caused us so much trouble. And in this episode we can just take a short, jaunty parasailing across the beach. We have enemies with maracas here, which we can simply swallow and then hold above our heads, for no other reason than the fact that maraca music can be quite irritating. Many enemies here, but not very many with powers. Just basic enemies. There we are. They have antlions here at this beach as well. Delightful. And those moles can be quite annoying. But looks like we found ourselves some major sand structures here. I wonder who could have been building sand castles and such. Do you think someone else was on this planet before us? I suppose they must have been. You can see all the way out to the horizon out there, see? There's an island way off in the distance. I wonder if we'll get there. Looks like there's a good amount of platforms built into the sea here that all have cannons based on them. To get through this section, all you really have to do is run forward. You don't have to stop to attack the enemies or try to avoid them or anything like that. You just have to keep running. Now, as much as I dislike the cutter power-up, we do need it for something coming up in a minute, so let's gather it now while we have a relatively easy one to grab. And as I said, I really dislike the power-up in this game. I find there are much better power-ups. Even at the basic level, I prefer the fire and the bomb power-ups immensely to just the basic cutter. And it looks like we have here a bomb. A bombfish that just exploded. Well, let's see if we can back up and get him to come back on screen. While getting rid of this crab here that seems to want to ruin our day. Be gone, Mr. Crab. Yes, this is actually... that explosive fish there is important to us. Because if we manage to capture it, he has the bomb power-up. And now we need to go replace our cutter power-up with the one that we used before. If we can. I don't remember if he will respawn or not. Hopefully he will, because we do need his help. Yes, there he is. Alright. Got you. And the bomb and cutter power-up is definitely one of my absolute favorite power-ups in this game, and a favorite of great many people in this game, because it turns Kirby into a ninja. Unlike other Ninja Kirbys, though, this Kirby doesn't change in appearance. Instead, he simply gains the ability to throw shurikens. But not just any shurikens. These shurikens pack an explosive surprise. Watch. Yes, the shurikens fly so fast through the air that they can't even be seen until they hit. And then they destroy everything in their path with the power of an explosive. An explosive shuriken. Kirby really is a ninja. It looks like we have interesting little tricks here with water platforms that shoot us up into the air. Well, let's head down inside. See what's down here. Ouch. Looks like we have a mossy rock over there, and there's a Maxim tomato over here that helps refill our health, and then this mossy rock is actually for, you guessed it, the shurikens to blow up. There we are, and there's a crystal hidden here. Now that we can destroy that block, free a rock that sends us flying up through the top of the structure once again. But ruined structures, along with the sandcastles and everything else. Ow! Whoa! Tricky platforms. They want to destroy us. Well, they won't, because Kirby's quite fast enough to be able to avoid that. Thank you. Hello, King DDD. Are you the one who's been building these things for? Oh my! Perhaps he was, perhaps he wasn't. He didn't say whether he was or not. But in any case, we have more of the beach to conquer. thanks to Kirby's Ninja Stars, we can conquer all of these parasail enemies with quite a lot of ease. And these bonefish are no match for our power. Though, with the shurikens, it can be a little bit hard to tell exactly where you are throwing them, but it's not that difficult. Looks like we have a fire dragon here, but we're going to ignore him and simply head down into here. Looks like we have another mini-boss, with one with the cutter ability. But fortunately, we already have the cutter bomb power, so we don't need his help for anything. All we need to do, there's no reason to keep him alive, we might as well keep him in misery. You don't want to stand too close to the boss here, because there are chances that you'll fall through that hole and miss this crystal shard after it spawns, and then you'll just have to replay the level again, and no one wants to do that, and oh my, it looks like there's a crystal shard over there on the right side that's quite a long fall. We can't get through this wall either. It requires a cutter power-up and... what is that, brown? Cutter and stone. I don't think we've seen that power quite yet. Perhaps we'll have to come back here and find out what that power is for ourselves. Oh my, another trap. This one's set with those horrible rolling logs from before. Quite angry. These rolling log traps are quite dangerous. Oh my. And as I said before, the logs are very capable of hitting you for more than once. So you have to be very careful indeed. Especially when you have more than one of them on the platform at the same time. Look at that. It's a rolling gauntlet of death. That's all it is. Destroy this crab and head downward into the sea. And of course, we find a picnic with our friends here. Now, we have plenty of lives and plenty of health, so we're going to try for that enemy card over there. There we are. Very well jumped, Kirby. Those enemy cards are not useful, I wouldn't say, but they are interesting. Now we can go on to the 4th level here, but I'm going to want to go back, actually, and collect that other power-up. Or collect that other crystal with the power-up that we missed. So we can discard our shurikens, as much fun as they are, and head off across the beach once again. Maracas. The beach. So relaxing, despite all the things trying to kill us. If only these creatures knew that we were here to help save their planet from dark matter, and collecting the crystals to save Ribbon's planet as well. Perhaps they're not very intelligent, or perhaps dark matter has corrupted them just as it corrupted our friends before. I don't know. There's quite a lot of enemies on this beach. And this, I suppose, perhaps dark matter may have brought them here to help defend the crystal shards until it collects them for itself. But that doesn't make much sense. Then again, how else would you explain the fact that the enemy types are the same from planet to planet? That doesn't make any sense either. So it looks like we got the cutter power here. Go ahead and grab that. It's the same cutter we grabbed before, you may recall. Now, hopefully, we can find a stone power somewhere that will enable us to break through that wall and grab that other crystal. But that seemed like such a long way up. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. There, explodey fish. And jump up on this reef. Avoid the Godos here. Bronto Bert. You can get up, you can just go away. Yes, it does seem like everything in this game is geared towards Kirby's destruction. And yet Kirby's still so cheerful. It's quite admirable, really. Could you be so cheerful even though everything in the world around you was trying to kill you? Ah yes, we found the stone power we were looking for. There. Now, Rock and Cutter enables us to use a very interesting power, which creates cameos for several of Kirby's animal friends from Kirby's Dream Land 3, which was actually produced and directed by the same person who did this game. We have a blob, we have an owl, we have several others that we'll get to see in a minute, but for now we have to take DDD's catapult ride once again and head off here. It's too bad we had to miss the crystal so far into the level, so that we have to backtrack through almost the entire level to get back here. It looks like we have a raccoon power as well here, but unfortunately it isn't that useful since it can only double jump and it can't move very well in water. We want to stay out of the water as much as we can here because the current is quite strong and it will sweep us quite far back if we give it the chance to. So we go ahead and head down into the hole where we have been before. Fight the mini-boss once again. And the thing about this is that the explosions are actually much, much larger for the stone than they were for the just the regular stone power-up. Go ahead and head down and land in the water. And we can use the explosion or just the power itself to get out. Now, this is the power we want, the transformation that we want. It's a small hamster, his name is Rick. We can actually use Rick's power to climb up walls to get up to reach that crystal. Unfortunately, Rick can't get through platforms because, as you can see, no matter how many times you press the A button, you can't get up quite far enough to get to that crystal, even though Kirby can fly. So we're going to have to transform back into Rick and climb up that wall, because even though Kirby can transform into, well, a completely useless fish, but also two different birds, I mean, though neither of those birds can fly quite high enough to get to the crystal. So it's going to have to be Rick and his abilities to climb walls, if we can ever transform into him again. See, this raccoon friend can double jump, but again, he can't quite get high enough. There we are. Now we're Rick, we can climb the wall as we're supposed to and get that crystal. How you're supposed to know to do this the first time you play through this game, I honestly don't know. Without a lot of experimentation with Kirby's powers, there's a lot of things about this game you won't realize. It's quite mysterious, really. We go ahead and leave this course and go on to the next one. Now, Rock Cutter is most useless in this course because this course takes place entirely underwater. Instead, we're going to want to grab some of these torpedo enemies here and get to the bottom as fast as we can since we're taking so much damage. And those sea angels, or whatever they're called. Go ahead and swallow that. The torpedoes actually give us the bomb power-up, which is one of the most useful power-ups to use underwater, since it can actually... well, unfortunately Kirby's throw is still quite bad underwater, but he does have quite... it still has the same explosive power that it did above water, and oh my. Yes, in this underwater area we're going to have to deal quite a lot with boulders falling on us from somewhere above us. Something or someone is trying to keep us from getting farther underwater. I wonder what it could be. Perhaps we'll find out. Perhaps the boss of this world has a rock theme to him. I don't know. Looks like there's quite a lot of goodies here, but they're being guarded by these torpedoes. I didn't even know torpedoes could come out of the sand like that. I suppose these can. But the bomb power-up, as I said, is quite useful for attacking enemies directly in front of you, as well as directly above you or below you while you're underwater, even though it doesn't quite go as far when you're using it. There. We haven't seen any crystal shards yet. We've been moving so very slowly. Oh my, there's a strong current here that's threatening to sweep Kirby away. We have to stay out of it and just swim upward. Straight up this left side. This is actually quite a large cavern that you can explore, but if you stick to the left side of the cavern and continue to swim upward, there's actually... oh, bombs. There's actually a crystal shard here on the roof of the cavern that you can only reach if you swim up the left side due to the strong current here. We'll go ahead and head inside to this area here. Again, there's a strong current causing Kirby to drift forward, which means we can't stop or slow down even if we wanted to. We can only slow down a very little bit, which It's threatening to sweep us right into some of these obstacles and enemies. Ah, we can stop here on this pillar. Now there's a crystal shard down there in the corner, but it's very easy to miss this one if you jump off of this pole. Instead, you simply have to walk off of it and then swim upward. There we are. Crystal collected. That's 2. 2 in very quick succession, I might say. Ouch! That bomb explosion lasts for a very long time, and we're already down to just 1 hit. Poor Kirby. Be careful, Kirby. I don't want to die. Not here. Not now. Oh no! Poor Kirby. I'm so sorry, Kirby. But it's alright. We can just restart this section. We don't have to restart the entire level. And it keeps all of the crystal shards we've collected as well, so we don't have to collect that one a second time. We can also collect a second bomb power-up from one of these explosive fish if we're quick enough. Looks like the current's preventing us from swallowing, though. It won't let Kirby stop in one place. That's alright. We don't need the bomb power-up to get through this. These bonefish, actually, I believe they give you the cutter power, which could make a very useful combination if you manage to get both a bomb and a cutter. And then you can use your shurikens, which, thankfully, their trajectory and speed are not at all affected by the water, which means that they still go faster than the eye can see, which make them very, very useful against the variety of enemies you find here underwater. Looks like we have a mini-boss here, an explosive fish. Fortunately, this one does not explode, and this is actually one of the few times where your cutter ability is useful, because you see, the current's threatening to sweep you around, so if you use your cutter ability, it'll drift in one place, and you can get multiple hits on this mini-boss without moving. But it doesn't look like he's dropped a crystal for us. Perhaps there'll be a crystal somewhere else for us to gather. We've already found 2 of them in this level, after all. It means there's only 1 more to find, but where could it be? We'll have to head out to this side, into a much larger cavern with, oh my, rocks being swept along by the current that threaten to pulverize Kirby and turn him into little pink marshmallowy bits. All you have to do to get out of the current, though, is to duck down inside of, or up into one of these little crevices in the wall. Oh, the cutter power, you are so very useless. You are useless to me. Get down, Kirby. Oh, poor Kirby. Should get rid of this power while we still can. Oh, there's the last crystal. We missed it. No! We missed it. We missed the last crystal. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And we're going to die as well. I knew it. I told you so. Ah, well. At least since we get to start this section over, this time we can stick to the bottom. Since we don't have a cutter ability, we don't have to worry about it. We just have to use Kirby's downslide to stay ahead of the rocks, duck down into these holes, and continue to swim forward until we find that crystal shot again. You can also swallow the rocks, the larger ones anyway, when they come towards you. I don't remember if they give you a power. No, I suppose they don't. And there we have the 3rd crystal of this level. It's a good thing we stopped to grab it, eh? Continue on through the field of Gordos and the rocks alike, swimming upward into an underwater cavern where our friends have laid out a nice picnic for us. Thank you very much, friends. Kirby needed an opportunity to dry off. We can grab a Maxim tomato and refill our health for the boss of the world, which we will be facing in the very next episode. So I will see you all for the boss of Aquastar next time. Good night, everyone.